What's going on, champs and champions? It's FireMonkey here, and I want to go ahead and talk about the Fortnite discovery menu today. Now, I'm not for sure if I'll be able to show it off in my discovery menu, but I do have the stats pulled up on another monitor. But I wanted to talk about a weird trend that I've started to notice when it comes to the discovery menu. So, of course, the most popular games on here are the buy epic games, stuff like Blitz Royale, Reload, Battle Royale, Zero Build, not really 50v50, Zero Build or anything like that, but, you know, Fortnite OG, all that type of stuff. Pretty popular modes, but as you start going down, you find more and more of the popular modes that are made by the community, UEFN experiences, and there is a pretty interesting trend I've started to notice with it. Now, I can't find the most players tab here, and I don't know if that's really something that they show up here, because, you know, it's like popular, this doesn't have the most players. You know, it is one of the most players right now, but that isn't really accurate. But when I come through all the different categories, I'm noticing a pretty interesting trend. You know, I think variety is a good section to kind of show this off in. It always feels like a lot of the maps we get in Fortnite are just clones of stuff from Roblox or other games. Of course, we had Only Up from a long time ago. That was more of like a whole trend thing or whatever because of the Only Up game genre. And then now we look at stuff and still the Brain Rot is one of the most popular games in Fortnite right now in terms of players. In terms of, you know, games that aren't like gun games or whatever, still a Brain Rot is where you're actually going to find that stuff. Because the only other non-epic experience as of right now when I'm recording this video that has more players than Steal the Brain Rot is 1v1 with every gun, which of course, you know, makes sense. You know, a lot of the popular Fortnite maps are just 1v1 things, and now you might not think too much. You're like, oh, Steal a Brain Rot, you know, it's just whatever. But when you kind of look into it a little bit more and we go over to the charts over on Roblox, the most popular games right now are stuff like Grow a Garden and then Steal a Brain Rot, and I feel like that's something we're kind of noticing here in the Fortnite discovery, is that whatever works in Roblox, we're just going to try cloning it over to Fortnite. I mean, for example, we also have Go Garden, which is made by CypherPK, which is basically a Roblox clone of Grow a Garden. Now, because of it being CypherPK, I'm going to assume it has a pretty decent, you know, like setup going on, and that there was some effort that went into it more than just being, you know, the Grow a Garden clone from Roblox. But it is something I'm noticing more and more, where every game we're kind of getting in here is just a clone of whatever is currently popular over there on Roblox. I mean, if I go to the top playing right now on Roblox, we have Grow a Garden, Steal a Brain Rot, Brookhaven RP, which I think there's RP maps, you know, I think you can just call it like Party Royale or whatever RP. Then we have stuff like 99 Nights in the Forest. You know, there are some pretty normal modes in here. I'm surprised we haven't really seen some of the tower defense games like we see in Roblox over in Fortnite yet, but a lot of stuff that kind of already exists in Roblox that is slowly making its way over to Fortnite, and this whole trend of making brain rot maps being the main focus, right? Because if I go through here and, you know, other than all the like box PvP maps or Go Gardens or whatever else, there are quite a bit of maps that are really popular right now in the top like 100 that are just kind of clones of something you would find in the other game. And when it comes to the difference here, oh, I'm in first person. When it, oh, okay, what? Yeah, okay. When it comes to the difference between the modes, I don't know if it's just because, you know, I grew up with Roblox or whatever, but I prefer the Roblox versions, because even if, you know, I don't really care that, wait, that is literally a Roblox character. Wait, there's literally a Roblox character here. I mean, yeah, you know, okay, I already bought it once, but it keeps showing the purchase thing. That's great to see. But I wasn't expecting to go in here and actually see a Roblox character show up. Maybe that's a part of the brain rot. You know, I don't know. I'm not too familiar with all the brain rots, but it is interesting to see how we're just kind of getting these type of clones that is like, oh, it worked in this other game because, for example, that brain rot game over in Roblox has like 1.1 million players right now. Now, of course, Roblox does have a bot problem, so a lot of those are probably bots and not actual people playing it. But why is it that we just have to make clones in this game? Now, I do think one of the reasons why this kind of happens is because of the fact that whenever it comes to, you know, games that are popular in Fortnite and UEFN, I feel like we are the actual products itself now. We're not trying to find good experiences, but we're trying to find whatever is the best cash experience that the creator can make the most money from. So it doesn't really matter if, you know, we have the most fun with it. Of course, you know, there's probably people out there who do enjoy these type of brain rot games, and if you enjoy it, you know, go ahead and enjoy it. But it's just kind of the focus that it's like, what makes it a lot of money? All right, let's go ahead and clone that and make our own money grab version of it. And making this video, I'm probably going to have some content creators or whatever hate on me, and I apologize for that. If you're making money, go ahead, get your bread. I'm not complaining. I do sponsored stuff sometimes, and I make some money from that. It's just the way it goes. But I do think in terms of the entire discovery, if you want to play something that is like, actually a pretty unique experience, it's really hard to find those, because everywhere you look, Discovery is just going to show you, hey, this is what is going to be, the most attention-grabbing thing. This is what the most people come back to. And then when it comes to actual experiences like horror maps and stuff like that, I remember one of the maps that I did enjoy previously was the Junji Ito experience that I actually had over in Fortnite. That was a pretty cool thing to go through, but you won't see that getting advertised because it's not something that brings you back to it. It's one of those one-time experiences, and then you go on with your days, right? I mean, even like death runs in a way are kind of becoming less and less of a thing you see in the game, and there's something that was kind of like a relic of the past. If you make a death run, cool, but don't expect it to get a lot of players. It definitely won't get enough players compared to these other experiences. For example, we have right here with the still a brain rot thing. This of course is going to get a lot of players, but on top of that, I do think there is an issue with the discovery menu when it comes to the actual thumbnails people are using, because time and time again Epic Games has made rules where they're like, hey, you can't do this to your actual thumbnail. And while I'm talking, this is a really good way to actually get XP. You know what, maybe still the brain rot ain't that bad, but time and time again Epic Games has told people that you can't do certain things with your thumbnails here and there, and yet people still do it. People go ahead and do all these things, and they don't always have moderation taken. And then sometimes there are people who are following all the rules properly, and they do get pretty bad moderation taken on their actual games or whatever. They get it rejected or whatever, and then they submit the exact same game without any changes at all for approval. It gets rejected, and then within like 10 resubmits without changing anything, suddenly it gets approved. And it's like, how is that the system where you can change nothing about your game, resubmit it like 3-4 times or whatever else, and then eventually it just gets approved because maybe you submitted it too many times and you're like, I'm fine, just have your experience in the game. But at the exact same time, when I'm making this video and complaining about how Discovery looks and how it kind of feels and everything, it's not because I'm saying, hey, if you play these games, you're a bad person. If you enjoy playing Still the Brain Rot, if you enjoy playing any of the games that I'm mentioning here, Go Garden or whatever else, that is great for you. I'm glad you're having fun with it, but my main complaint isn't even really the games themselves, but just the feeling I get when I look at Fortnite's discovery menu. It feels like a lot of the things you see, if they're not an actual PvP map, are stuff that is just stolen from Roblox, or things that are just, going to mainly be PvP focused, 1v1, 4v4s, red versus blue, insert specific character here versus other specific character here, and that type of stuff, in order for people to get the most profit or whatever, because it does get the most amount of players. And I understand from the creator's perspective why they would do these type of maps, because if you're going to be able to make easy money from doing it, go get yourself some money, go be able to get yourself some McDonald's or whatever. I ain't complaining. But as an actual player, I felt that like the discovery menu just feels like it's slowly descending more and more. And this isn't even really a complaint about Fortnite itself, because when it comes to Rocket League, Rocket League, but when it comes to Roblox, these are the type of maps that always show up in the top area or whatever else, or 500 different tower defense maps or whatever. And I understand that it is something that is just kind of going to show up in any discovery that's based on whatever is popular and makes sense or whatever. But it feels like when it comes to the tailored creations, especially in the Fortnite discovery, it is just kind of random things thrown out there, because when you go ahead and look at it, it'll be like, oh, you played this one map for like 3 minutes, all right, here is 2,000 other maps that are exactly similar like it, because you obviously are the biggest enjoyer of that specific map right there. And it's like, no, I clicked on it because our friend was in it. Why is it that now this is what my entire recommended area is? And then when I want to go play Battle Royale, it's so hard to actually find the buy epic category half the time, especially if you want to do something like rocket racing or save the world. I mean, let me tell you, there's been a million times where I've had those maps favorited in my favorites menu, and for some reason, they just don't show up, so I have to unfavorite and refavorite, and I have to do that basically like every other week, because they just end up glitched for one reason or another. One of the other maps that is currently in the very popular section in the discovery menu is called Brain Rot Evolution, and this is something that I noticed when I was looking at the different Roblox maps and talking to people who play Roblox a little bit more, and it was the fact that there is a Brain Rot Evolution, but there's also an exact copy of it that is a Roblox original that isn't related to Brain Rot, that's like Capybara Evolution, right? So it's like they're able just to take a game that already exists and reskin it, re-release it, it, and then that can be its own section, and because it has a different theming, you know, it's more focused on brain rot or whatever, it might get a lot more players, which is why I wonder if I can go over here right now and type still A into the map creation. Oh. Okay. Yeah, I just typed still A into the most played maps on Fortnite right now, and we have still the brain rot with 13.9 thousand players on it right now. After that, we have don't steal my brain rot with 6.9 thousand players right now. After that, we have still brain rot with 1.5 thousand players right now. We have still a skin with 343 players right now. We have still a car with 106. We have still brain rot tycoon with 90. Still a meme tycoon with 63. Still brain rot with 23. Still a brain rot with 20. Still brain rot red versus blue with 3 players. Still the brain rot game with 3 players. And of course, you know, the players go down because there's 1 or 2 here and there that is like the most popular ones everyone's playing and it gets recommended to you. And then there's the other ones that don't really have anyone recommending them or whatever because the discovery just kind of like kicked them out of it or whatever else. But I think it's interesting that the exact same trend we see over in Roblox can happen in Fortnite as well, where there's just a million clones. Because I'm wondering if we have the evolution map, right? You know, we had the brain rot evolution thing. And I searched that in here. What do we have? Oh, brain rot evolution, brain rot evolution tycoon, brain rot evolution gun game. And those look like the only ones in the evolution category here. And I'm just waiting for the moment we start getting like the anime tower defense clones in Fortnite, right? You know, maybe those are going to be peak. We can have the RNG, the gotcha machines, and everything else. But it definitely is an oddity over here in Fortnite and in Roblox that I definitely think could be improved overall. But once again, as I've already mentioned to you guys, going ahead and having a Roblox clone in its own right isn't really like a bad thing in my opinion. You know, it's cool to actually see. You know, it's nice to be able to have these experiences in other games for people who don't want to actually play Roblox, or they want to, you know, have a newer experience in a different engine or whatever. But I definitely think that discovery needs a little bit more working so that it just works a little bit better and we can actually get more accurate suggestions. So as someone like me who doesn't really care about these type of games right here, except, you know, for the decent V-Bucks it's actually making for me, and or not V-Bucks, the decent XP I'm getting from it, then we would be able to not really have these recommended to us. I know if I go to the menu over here on the side, I think I have the option somewhere to like the experience, or maybe not. Did they okay, it's all the way here. Yeah, you can mark as not interested, and I assume that it might affect your discovery a little bit more, but all those things, like marking as recommended, marking as not interested, I've never seen them really mess with my discovery. Personally, it feels like even if I was to mark something that I'm like, I don't really care about this, if Epic Games wants to show it to me, they're just going to show it to me regardless of what I actually think about it. Oh wait, I need more room in my base for more brain rots. Hold on 1 second, guys. But I would love to hear in the comments down below what you guys think about Roblox copies in Fortnite. What do you think about the whole entire situation? And what do you think about UEF in the discovery menu in general? I think that, you know, these type of games obviously, you know, are just trying to get the most money possible, but also it is what's popular. So of course people are going to continue making them because if it's popular, it's going to make you some money. So might as well, right? So I thought I would just go ahead and rant about that, but I think I've taken up enough of your guys' time on today's Tuesday. I'm recording it a day before, so if you enjoyed the video, like the video. If you want to subscribe, feel free. If you didn't like the video, feel free to dislike it, do whatever you want to do, and I'll catch you champs and champets tomorrow. Once again, I know I've said it like a million times, but I'm not trying to get anyone beefing with me. If you make Roblox clones, or you make whatever is popular, like the brain rot games or whatever, I'm not mad at you. Do what you gotta do, make your bread, have some fun with it, but also at the same time, I feel like the discovery menus in both Roblox and in Fortnite could definitely do some work. You know, they definitely could be improved a little bit here and there, so that if I don't care about these experiences, or I don't want to see the brain rot tycoons or whatever else, I can go ahead and just kind of void those from showing up in my discovery, and being able to actually, you know, find things that are more like what I personally would want to play. I mean, as I've already told you guys, it is a struggle sometimes to even find Epic-made experiences, and there's a lot of times when they'll release an Epic-made experience like that OG 50v50 0 build, and then, you know, as they release that and everything else, they take it out a day later, and then they bring it back next update for like 10 minutes, and then once people start logging in, they take it away once again, and stuff like that. You know, it's just a whole entire headache, so it feels like in terms of what's going on in Fortnite specifically, it's all a mess. Even Epic Games themselves doesn't know what they want to actually publish in this game mode. So that's it, champs and champets. Enjoy the video. I'm going to stop yapping now. I think I did my outro like 5 times at this point, but I'll see you guys a little bit later with another upload. So until then,